Okay, it is 5:30. We will call the March 18th, 2024 Board of Works meeting to order. Please rise for the pledge allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right, so Clerk Treasurer Price will not be here this evening, so we have Amanda here with us this evening. Amanda, can you please do roll call?
Yes. Cameron Hicks,
Here.
Spencer Kingery,
Present.
Brianna Maxwell.
Present.
So the minutes of the March 4th meeting have been presented for review. Are there any additions, corrections, or subtractions?
I have none. Motion approved.
Second.
I have a motion to approve by Spencer Kingery, seconded by Brianna. Any discussion? Hearing none. All in favor of approving the March 4th meeting minutes, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Next order of business is the claims for March 18th totaling $1,293.99 or $1,293,997.10. $1,293,997.10. Is there a motion to approve? Big number.
Someone.
Spencer
Second.
Kingery. Any discussion?
I saw there was another large payment for capital improvement clarifier, and I was wondering if you could explain that.
Yes. So we get invoices pay invoices for each phase of the project or whenever they send them to us. We discovered that each time an invoice comes in, we also have a escrow agreement through Star Bank. So that coincides with the invoice, the pay app. So when we get those, there'll be the invoice pay app and then also the escrow agreement that was signed into place. So that's why that number's a little bit larger. But is there anything else to add to that, Amanda? We just discovered that last week. They called and asked about that payment. So that's why that is on there. And this is pay app number 4, I believe. So
This is coming from the water wastewater or the wastewater, right?
that is correct. Yep, it is the
494. So
yep, it's a clarifier project. Yep. Any other questions?
No.
All in favor of approving the claims for $1,293,997.10, signify by saying aye.
I
Opposed? Motion carries. Okay, there's no other business to be brought before the board. I'll give you a couple updates here. The interurban, as you guys can see when you drive by, they are above road level now. Second floor framing is almost completed. Then they'll start on the third and final floor after that. So they're giving us a status. Each week we get a progress report and still a lot of work to do once they get the framing done with the plumbing and electrical and all that. But it seems like each week you drive by, they're up another floor. So to coincide with that, we're working on the front street improvement to meet in the middle when that time comes, and progress is moving along pretty quick. So other than that, the CCMG grants that we have for Indiana Street and Union, they completed Union Street, the water portion of it Friday, tied into the hydrants, and the hydrant at the very end down by Packet is now active. So they're moving to the next phase of that. And then after that, they'll move over to Indiana Street and start the same process with the water lines going towards the railroad track. So another project that's moving along pretty good. They've had a lot of good weather. So I don't know if they're ahead of schedule, but they're on schedule, and that's good for Indiana winters. So other than that, since Clerk Treasurer Price is not here, Amanda, do you have anything? No? Any board comments or requests?
No.
None? Hearing none, there's one last motion.
motion adjourned.
Are you gonna
Awesome.
take public comments or questions tonight?
Oh, you're absolutely right. Yes, public comment.
I already said my motion.
Yep,
Hang on,
sorry,
hang on a
yep,
second. I already
yep.
said my motion.
Go ahead, Gil.
Gail Connor, 510 East Franklin. I was here to ask about the claims tonight that were approved to BW Construction for the street and park and water maintenance building. I was just wondering, since that was supposed to be a 50-50 project, why haven't any of the claims been paid from the water utility yet?
If they haven't been paid, they haven't been submitted to the BOT yet. So once they get submitted,
Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt.
no, so that's when, like we got the first claim for the interurban, what, 3 weeks ago, Amanda? So it takes, that's all out of our hands of when we get are you talking about when we get our portion of, or?
No, the contract with BW Construction for the building
Mhm.
was a $2.5 million guaranteed ransom. And half of that was supposed to come from the street department and parks fund. The other half was supposed to come from the water utility. And I believe that's one of the reasons our rates were raised again, was to have extra money to help pay for that. And to date, you've approved 8 claims for about 1.6 million. And that's all come from money that was from the general fund. But to date, nothing has been paid from the water utility on that project. And it was my understanding, the way it was explained to me, was that it was a 50-50 project. So why hasn't anything been taken from the water utility to
So
pay?
currently that's being the 4650 account with the loans being, we're still working through that. So I don't know if that's part of the process of once the loan is, they're resolved that issue, that's where what accounts they're gonna pick, but so currently how we're doing it is we paid the last document or out of rainy day fund to pay 2 invoices or 1 invoice. So I haven't been told to pay anything out of those line items because it's the 2 accounts that's attached to it. So that's what they're working through with this process of getting the loan structured differently. So that will be
I understand all that, but again, the water utility is
Right.
supposed to pay half of this, and they have yet, nothing has been deducted from the water utility for payments.
right. So when the loan is resolved, all that's finished, the structure of it, that's when those accounts that's supposed to be designated or whatever, that's when those line items that's chosen will go towards the loan. But it's not going to be until the loan is with whatever they're fixing with it and all that. It's not going to be until then. So right now we're paying out of the line item that it has. When it's all restructured, that's when those accounts will be utilized.
Do you realize that tonight you depleted your street and park department annual budget for 2024?
No, we did not.
50%? With the claims that you paid tonight, it was about $460,000.
Correct, but we did a resolution to replenish those funds. Yeah, so at the last council meeting, we did a resolution that any funds that are used until this loan is restructured, those funds can be replenished back into the accounts.
So the water department's never gonna have to pay anything, and our rates were raised.
Again, that's what they're looking into now, is the restructure of what line items and all that's going to be paid. So, okay.
You can't take money from the water department at a later date and repay your general fund or your street department.
Correct.
So how is the water department ever going to pay? Are they going to pay back the loan?
That's something we'll know once this is finalized. That's what's being worked on now. So that's why we did that resolution, to put the funds that's being utilized now back into those accounts, but that's what's being reviewed and looked at right now.
When that loan is drawn upon, doesn't that money have to go into the general fund and then an additional appropriation to the 4650 fund?
The 4650 fund's not being utilized right now.
But it will be at some point. So at that, and I know that some draws have already been
Correct.
registered into that fund. But doesn't that money have to go into the general account? And then the council has to advertise an appropriation to put that money directly into that fund?
That's what, when they get this done, whatever steps are needed for it, that's what they'll do. Yes. Again, that's all stuff that's being worked on now.
I'm just asking, my main reason for asking tonight was because our water rates were raised again, and at the time we were told they needed money for the this
Clarifier.
building
Yeah,
project.
and the clarifier, yes.
The clarifier
Yeah.
project.
Yeah,
That was our wastewater rates being raised.
I believe it was both. Yeah, so. We will keep you updated on the progress of the loan once we're here, so. Any other public comments? Now you got a motion?
Motion to adjourn.
Second,
I have a motion and a second, all in favor of adjourning the meeting, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Meeting's adjourned at 5:40.